Well, I am just going to make sure, as always, go ahead. If you're watching the replay, skip forward just a second. I need to make sure that I pop up on the other side of the screen and that we are good to go and that you find the live. Okay, it looks like I am on screen. Yes, we are good to go. Happy Tuesday, my friends. Today is Tuesday, October 28th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you are watching me live during that time, and if you are watching me live on YouTube during that time, say hello. If you are watching the replay, say hello as well. I always like to go back and see who is here and answer any questions that you may have. And even if I'm just saying hi back and saying thanks for watching. But hello, welcome if you are new to my page. My name is Tammy Civello and welcome to Cards by TLC. Good morning, Martha. Good morning, Jenny. Hope you are all doing well. This week, Jenny and I are doing a stack, cut, and shuffle technique, which surprisingly scared me. I don't know why it scared me. It felt intimidating, but once I actually sat down and did it, I was like, oh, this is really easy. So I had never done this technique before, and I'm so excited to do this. And Jenny's done it a couple of times. So thank you, Jenny, for suggesting that we incorporate this into our routine. I think it's going to be on a regular routine. I fell in love with it. It's a great way to showcase that designer paper. And the product we are using today, we are using the brand new online exclusive that comes available to non-demonstrators next week at the beginning of November, and it showcases this beautiful paper. And I am doing, with the stack and shuffle, I'm actually doing the same orientation, but we're rotating it. So we're going to do two with the vertical and two horizontal. And what I love about this is you could do exactly what I just did. Just leave it as card bases, and as you need something, add your sentiment. Pull out that candy dish that I have, the sentiment candy dish that I have. And make it a birthday card, make it a sympathy card, make it an anniversary card, whatever you would like to do. This is the perfect way to do that. And if you want to mass produce Christmas cards, this is another way to do that. So this is what we are doing today. And I am going to go over briefly this beautiful suite. This suite is a mega suite. It's called the Brush with Beauty collection. And you might have noticed some new packaging here. This is our new packaging that Stampin' Up is converting over. We are going to be going to full photopolymer stamp sets, and I am so excited about this. The new packaging is gorgeous. Well, I wouldn't say gorgeous. It's plastic, but it's space saving, and in my opinion, I think is going to be really easy to go forward on looking for dies. I currently have our stamp cases, our stamps are currently in the stamp cases, but I don't have a lot of shelf space. So I have found through Amazon and through Patty telling us what she's going to be using to showcase the new packaging. I got these on Amazon, and the brand is called Sorbus, Sorbus. It comes in a package of 4, and I'm going to maybe start out by putting it in alphabetical order until I get more stamps, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and break it down into themes like flowers, sentiments, Christmas, holiday, whatever I'm going to do. But I think for the meantime, I might keep it in alphabetical order. These are great sturdy bins that fit on my shelves. I have a Billy case from IKEA, and these fit perfectly. I just have to adjust my shelving, but you're going to get so much more in your space. I mean, I would say at least a good maybe 20 sets. I don't have that many to show, but I do love the new packaging. But this is the first bundle that is in the suite. It is called the Words of Beauty bundle. And on the dies, what I kind of wish they had done is put the larger wording on here instead of down below, but that's fine. I'm going to just take a label and just put Words of Beauty across the top. That way, when I'm thumbing through my bucket, I can see that it's all together. So these are this is the first bundle. This is what we are using today. And the other bundle that is part of the suite is called the Petals of Beauty. It is a 2-step stamp set. So we're going to be showcasing that on Thursday. I'm going to dive further in with my template Thursday with this suite. We're only going to be using the Words of Beauty bundle and then the paper. I'll show that in a minute because that's the star of the show. And then part of the suite, it comes with this amazing embossing folder. It's called Beautiful Pattern Embossing Folder. I love the pattern on this. It also comes with these gorgeous Pearls of Beauty embellishments, and love that it comes in white, Calypso Coral, and it looks like basic beige maybe. And then we have vellum back, friends. So part of this suite, you get a package of the 12 by 12 vellum. So I'm so excited that vellum is star of the show. Look how gorgeous this designer paper is. I changed things up a little bit on my my sampler. I used to have them all kind of lined up here and then the coordinating colors off to the side. I kind of like breaking it up and doing the coordinating colors in the center. But this is the Brush with Beauty designer paper, and the coordinating colors are Calypso Coral, Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Early Espresso, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Secret Sea, and Very Vanilla. Love this paper. It is absolutely stunning, and it's the perfect paper to showcase this stack and shuffle. And it looks like I did see Patty sneaking for a couple of minutes. Hello, Patty. Welcome in. Hello, Anne. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, Jenny said also, if you travel, you can take more using less space. Absolutely. If you're traveling during the summer, I know Jenny is an RV owner, so perfect space if we're traveling to a Stampin' Up event and we need to bring some stamps for an event. This is perfect. Or if we get some at an event, bringing it home. The space saving is fantastic. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to be doing one orientation of our pattern, but we're going to change it by rotating the orientation on 2 of the cards. So we're going to have 2 vertical and 2 horizontal by doing our stack and shuffle. And so I have already pre-cut out my card bases in Mossy Meadow. I have 2 top folding at 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2, and 2 standard 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. And then I have pre-cut out 8 very vanilla panels for the front and the inside of our cards today. Like I said, this is a great way to use your card candy and use any sentiment that you want as needed. I'm going to have a bunch of these just made up just to have on hand so I can grab a card and add a sentiment at any given time. If I need a sympathy card, or if I need an anniversary card or a birthday card, these are fantastic. And this is a great technique to do to mass produce like your Christmas cards. Like I said, it's DSP focused. So we're going to start off. I have chosen 4 patterns of the designer paper. This paper was really hard to choose, but I have chosen these 4 patterns, and I have pre-cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5. You can also do a 4 by 5 1/4 if you don't want to have a back panel having the border. If you just want to add it to your card base, you can certainly do so. But I like the breaking up of the patterns with that very vanilla in the background. I know, you know what? I now love the stack, cut, and shuffle technique. It was actually, um, I hadn't done it yet. Surprisingly, I had not done it yet. I've done one sheet wonders, but I have not done the stack, cut, and shuffle technique, and I was excited and surprisingly easy to see how that was. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And the key here is to keep all of the patterns together as we're cutting. And you can cut 4 at a time with our paper trimmer. I did it. You have to press down hard. 3 would be ideal, but what I love about this technique is you can do 3 or 4, whichever you choose to do so. And I think Jenny is doing 3 patterns. Jenny, if you can confirm if you're doing 3 or 4 today. So we are going to go ahead and start with our first cut. And our first cut is going to be, where are my cuts here? Okay, so our first cut is at 2.5. So I'm going to keep these together, line this up at 2.5, and we are going to cut this together. The key is keeping it all in order and don't mess up the orientation. So here we go. We have it cut through 4 sheets, no problem. Now we're going to go ahead and take this first stack and we're going to rotate this and cut this at 2 3/4. So our first cut was 2.5. I'm putting that off to the side. We're going to rotate this and cut it at 2 3/4. I'm going to put this off to the side, keeping it in the orientation that I need it to be. We're going to bring back in our strip, and we're going to rotate this and cut this at 1 3/4. Okay, I'm going to keep this in the orientation, get this out of the way. And now it's time to do our shuffling. So here is the orientation. As you can see, the pattern that I have chosen to do. And we're going to do this. We're going to keep the first stack by itself. We're going to come into this second strip of piece of paper and we're going to rotate this first one just by 1, bringing that top one to the back. So again, first batch by itself, second batch, we're going to rotate 1. Next batch, we're going to come in here and we're going to go 1, 2. See that pattern there? So by itself, shuffle once, shuffle twice, and this one we're going to shuffle it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. So as you are putting these pieces of paper onto your very vanilla, you're going to keep it in orientation. So this top one is 1 pattern. And as you can see, it'll build up 4 patterns. So I'm going to bring in my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of very vanilla. Get this out of the way. Liquid glue is going to be your friend on this one, my friends. So I'm going to see how this is going to go just like that and start pulling our first panel. Three and 4. So that is our first panel. So we'll go ahead and do that. And the important thing is to keep everything in the orientation or in the layers. This paper is absolutely gorgeous, and it is going to become available next week in our online exclusive. And if you need your bundle or designer paper or any supplies that you see today that you like and you are not working with another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. So there is that. And the fun thing is we're gonna do everything in vertical orientation on gluing things down. It's gonna be the exact same orientation. And then we'll just rotate 2 of them to horizontal. Okay. There is our first panel. Go ahead and flip that over, bring in our second panel, and do the exact same thing. Like I said, this is fantastic for mass producing, especially those holiday cards that you just want to just get them done and quickly. If you want to have just changing things up, it is great for that. I am so excited to reorganize with the new packaging when I start getting things converted over. It's going to take some time because obviously I have the cases. I can purchase the envelopes if I want to just go ahead and do it with the existing bundles. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there. I think I might purchase the envelopes, or I just might just let it work its way over. There we go. Oh, Jenny did confirm she is doing 3. I just saw that. So there's our second panel. And these are great to just have ready for that, whatever card you may need. I don't know why I was so intimidated by this technique. I don't know why. I don't know. I think I think I had the fear of mixing up the shuffle. Or I do have cats, having the cat jump up on my table and move the shuffle. And there's so many different versions of this. I can't wait to dive further in the next stack and shuffle, like changing the cutting to an angle cut or whichever you would like to do. Okay, and oh, honeybee, you've done 5 sheets. Okay. Okay. That's fun. Love that. Did you do like any special type of cut? Or did you just cut it just straight edge? Okay, almost done, folks. And then we'll bring in our sentiment bundle and play with that. Okay. Here we go. So we have the first two that we're gonna do vertical. Then we're just gonna rotate this like that and make two, just change that orientation up. So let's go ahead and add them to our card bases, and then we will go ahead and stamp some sentiments and die cut some sentiments out so you can see where that goes. And I lost my seal. Okay. You mostly cut on angles with the technique. It does make it a little bit harder to get things knocked over. Absolutely. But the key is to be able to just spread out and do that. Definitely going to have to watch that. Inside panels, again, these are 4 by 5 1/4 of Very Vanilla. So there is that one. Go ahead and leave that there. Bring in our second top folding card base. Again, this is Mossy Meadow at 4 1/4 by 11. Scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to have to, now that I've done it this way, I'm going to have to do a angle cut next time. Branch out. I had to do baby steps this first time around. And like I said, the key is to keeping it in order. I might be brave. Okay, and then standard card base, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, this is online exclusive that becomes available next week, beginning of November. The whole suite collection. And if you want to purchase the suite as is, like the complete suite with the 2 bundles, the vellum paper, the designer paper, the embossing folder, and the embellishments, I think it's like $134.50. But you can individually purchase the items. If you purchase the bundles together, they're a 10% discount. So that is the way to go. So there is our card bases. Now we'll go ahead and come in and bring in the brand new packaging again. And what I love about this, let's look at the dies. I kind of wish they did the same thing of the Words of Beauty and just put the Stampin' Cut and Emboss down below here. But that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a label on. So here are the dies. And these have the outline die, or I'm sorry, the intricate die on the inside, the outline die if you want to add a color to that. And so it's Just Because, and then the Just Because right here are the outlines for the words that are used, and that's what we're going to be doing today. It does have 3 different labels for that, for the different sentiments. So we're going to be doing the Just Because outline die of the stamped image. And I think, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Calypso Coral, which is this color right here, or the Mossy Meadow for our sentiment? And I'm going to go ahead and pull the Just Because. And what I like about this, it has the ... as well. So if I want to add that to the end, you can. But I'm just going to stamp Just Because and we'll pick a sentiment on the inside. So let's go ahead and lay that down. There is our because. Let's pull our just. Anytime you deal with photopolymer, you pull this off and let it rest to just kind of get its formats. And like I said, I'm going to be playing with this a little bit further in detail on Thursday, on my template Thursday. I'm going to say just because you've been on my mind. So again, let's pick our color, either Calypso Coral or Mossy Meadow. So there is that. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in here, lay that down. There we go. And let's bring in this and some ink. Maybe I'll do both and we'll see which one looks best. So we have just. Ooh, that's a brand new ink pad. That's juicy. Because and then we're going to line this up. Kind of feel like Mossy Meadow is going to be our color, but we'll see what Calypso looks like. Let me find my here we go. My Post-its. There we go. That's a fun tip, Honeybee. She says, for an interesting twist, die cut your DSP using an odd shape and then stack them and cut and shuffle. That would be fun. What a great tip. Thank you for sharing that. Oops. Kind of move this. Hopefully this did not jump. Okay. So we have our just because. Let's see here. That's okay, but I think and Patty says I've only done the odd shape for stack and shuffle. I know. Isn't that a great tip? So let me go ahead and clean off really quick. I didn't rinse off my chamois, so I'm just gonna quickly use a baby wipe to clean that off. I think Mossy Meadow is gonna be the color, but we shall see. So just, oh, this one needs some ink moving around. Got some bubbles there. There we go. Yeah, I need to move that ink around, but it's fine. Okay. And I need to get the bigger Post-its because those work much better than these smaller ones, but we will work with what we have. Just add a little extra hold on there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like the Mossy Meadow better on this. Okay, let me just run this through the die cutting machine really quick. Do it slow so it doesn't jump. Go. Here's our jest. That first one jumped, so I think I'm gonna like this one much better. There we go. Okay. And then let's go ahead and bring in our second one. I think let's do a other orientation here, just because. Love that. I'm not going to glue this one down because this one jumped a lot, but we'll work with this one. You guys get the gist of it. And then I'm gonna save, I think I'm gonna go ahead and save the others and just add the sentiment as needed. But here's another tip. What you can do also, if you want to have this puffed up, you could stamp your sentiment on here and add, hold on, excuse the reach, guys, and add a foam adhesive strip and do that. Maybe we can do that for this one. So I'm gonna do that for you guys. And that way it's puffed up. This will be flat directly on. So we have just because. So there's that one. And then let's go ahead and stamp Team Foam adhesive sheet. I was trying to read what Jenny was typing. So I'm going to, let's see here. Think this out a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this into strips just to be easier. And cut this into strips. Okay. That's going to go on the back of that one, but I need to stamp our sentiment first. And then we'll do another strip for our second one. So let's go ahead and stamp our just. There we go. And then our because. This suite is so amazing, and what I love about this suite also is Stampin' Up! Is providing an online class for this suite. So stay tuned for more details on that. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that on the back of this. And then that way, and that one on the back of that. When we die cut that out, that is going to, ooh, that barely fit. I almost got too much off on that word. Now we'll go ahead and bring in our dies and do this one more time and have our puffed out words. This was a tip that I learned from my friend Patty here in the chat. Patty Bennett is the queen of tips. Okay, come on. I really need the bigger Post-its. Just don't want that jumping. Okay. Just making sure that that cut through. And it did jump just a little bit, but that's okay. So now I'm going to gently pull this out, and this becomes a puffed up version that can go on our card. So we have just right here. And let's go ahead and do our because. Come on, Tammy. There we go. Stay. Okay. Go ahead and pull the release tape off of that. And here is our just because. I think we'll pull this up gently and pull this up just a little bit higher. So on this one, let go. I'm going to place the because. Let me get that C out. Come on, sticker. Get out. Okay. So I'm going to center the because on this one. Just like so. Pressing that down and putting that just, I think, like that. So there we have it, friends. There's our just because on that. And here is our stack and shuffle. So I hope that you enjoy this paper as much as I do. Like I said, this is becoming available in my online store next week. This will do it for me today. Please be sure to come back on Facebook at 4 p.m. Pacific time at Stampin' with Jen at 2 Ends and Stampin' and 2 Ends with Jen. And she is showcasing some fall paper. So she's going to be doing 3 patterns of the fall paper. So I hope that you come back and see her at 4 p.m. And then I will be back here on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time for a Template Thursday with Tammy featuring more of this suite. So please be sure to come back on Thursday. And then on Sunday this week, I will actually be not in town. Well, I'll be kind of in town. But there will be no live on Sunday this weekend, unfortunately. But we will be back on Tuesday next week. So this week is Template Thursday with Tammy at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I hope to see you all. And I love how Honeybee always says, thanks for sharing. Until next time, buzz you later. So she always puts that in her chat. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all next time for more creative fun. Bye, everyone.